Hey, what's up everybody? Danny Lightning here with another CSR2 video. Today we're going to talk about the Tempest races. Alright, so if you've watched all my videos, you know that's something you don't unlock till a little later in the game. I've covered the elite license that you need before you can do the Tempest races in the last video. So this time we're going to look at the Tempest races, the cars you win, and the boss times. So first we're going to look at Tempest 1. These were all really straightforward and pretty easy. You just had to get a car fast enough to beat these times. At least that's how I remember it. Alright, in Tempest 1, alright, first thing you do is you get your Elite License 1 and then you unlock the Tempest 1 series of races. The first car in Tier 1, it actually makes you race the tiers out of order. Like, I think you have to race Tier 3, and then Tier 1, then Tier 4, then Tier 2, and then Tier 5. It does it in a wacky order for some reason. I don't know why. You don't get to pick which tier you want to race first. But we're just going to look at the Tier 1 car. Angel Civic 1.5 VTEC. You have to beat a 12.3 to win this car. Alright. It was just a straightforward race from what I remember. Whoever crosses the finish line first on the whole Tempest 1 Tier 1 series. Alright. I used the Volkswagen GTI that I bought from the store, and it completely maxed out. That runs like an 11.890 or something like that. So that'll do it. Next car, Shayna's Range Rover. You have to beat a 10.9 to do this. I used the Porsche Boxster 718. That's the best tier 2 car in the game, I think. Alright, so a 10.9 to beat the tier 2 car. Now when we get to Tempest 2, things get very complicated and different. But we're just talking about Tempest 1 right now. So you've got Amelia's LBM4 Coupe. This is one of the best tier 3 cars in the game. You have to run a 10.011 to beat this. And I used the Mustang GT Premium that you can buy in the store to beat this. And as soon as I beat this, I haven't used another T3 car for anything unless I needed to, because Amelia's LBM4 is so good. Alright, but this, you gotta beat a 10.011. These are all quarter miles. When you get up to tier 4 and tier 5, it turns into a half mile. So here we go, tier 4, KJ's GTR Nismo R35. You gotta beat a 13.7 with a tier 4 car. I used the store-bought GTR. I had to buy and strip I don't know how many of those, and almost maxed that car out before I was able to beat this time. It was a long process of maxing that GTR out, I'll tell you that. Finally, I was able to do it, and I beat this car. Finally, you have Larry's GTA Spano. I used the Ferrari F12. It beat this easily from what I remember. Alright, so you just gotta beat a 10.916 in the half mile with a tier 5 car to get this guy. The the Lamborghini Hurricane and the Ferrari F12 are probably your best bets because you can buy those and strip those all day long to get parts for them. Most of the tier 5 cars you can't buy and strip to get parts, so they take forever to max out. It's very expensive to buy and strip tier 5 cars though, unfortunately. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Tempest 2. Things get a lot more complicated here. If I remember correctly, the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 races were really straightforward, but when you got to Tier 4 and Tier 5, it got extremely hard. Alright, so in Tier 1 you have Conduit's Golf GTI Mark 1. You gotta run a 12.037 to beat this car. Again, I used the store-bought Volkswagen GTI, and it maxed out. It runs like a 11.880, 11.890. It's very, very close. You have no room for error, but that car is so easy to drive, I went ahead and did that anyways. Alright, this is a pretty nice car. Tier 2, on Tempest 2, we ran a 10.214 or faster, alright, to get Finn's Exige 360 Cup. This is a awesome little car right here. 10.214 or faster. I used my Porsche Boxster to beat this again. That Boxster will beat every tier 2 boss in the game. Now we move on to Kia Sylvia S15. I don't know how you pronounce that name, but you have to run a 9.003. Now the Tempest 1 boss car that we just looked at, Amelia's LBM4, that's the car I used to beat this. Like I said, that's one of the best cars in the game. I don't know much about this car, to tell you the truth. I don't know if this is any good or not. Now I see that my camera is blocking the numbers here, unfortunately. But anyways, this runs in 9.003. Now we come to Tempest 4, and this is where things get really complicated. I believe Tempest 4 is when it started asking you to lower your PP numbers. Alright, so if you're not familiar with what a PP number is, you should probably understand that by the time you get to these races. But let's take a look at the Subaru WRX STI. This number you see right here where my mouse is that says 476, that is your PP number. And those Tempest 2 Tier 4 is going to require you to lower your PP, which means you have to go into upgrade. Then you have to go in here and you have to start refitting like stage 3, stage 2, stage 1 parts until that number gets low enough to race the races. Alright, and this makes things pretty hard. Not really for the normal races, but on top of having to do this, you're also going to have some races that are either going to ask you to go 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 in a set amount of time. And when you've got to detune your car down like that, plus deal with these 0 to 60 and 0 to 100 races, and then you're also going to have top speed races where you have to hit the finish line going faster than a specific speed. So it might say you have to finish going faster than 250 miles per hour on some races. If I remember correctly, there was 3 0 to 100 races and 3 top speed races. And a lot of people have to start changing cars, and unfortunately that costs gold. I guess there's only 2 cars in the game that are able to do some of these tier 4 races without changing cars. The Mustang HPE 750, which is the one I used, and the Sylvia S15 Rocket Bunny. I guess those are the only 2 that can do Tempest 3 Tier 4. Now Tempest 2 Tier 4, I had a really hard time, and I used the HPE 750. And it wasn't really maxed out yet. It's closer to being maxed out right now. But anyways, you gotta lower that PP, and then you have all this other junk you have to deal with. So those races are very hard. So you really need to have some highly tuned, close to maxed out cars to do Tempest 2 Tier 4 and Tempest 2 Tier 5. Tier 5 is the exact same way. It was very, very, very hard to beat. I had a heck of a time beating the 0 to 100 races with the Ferrari F12. Right now my F12 is one stage 6 part away from being maxed out, so it could probably have done this easily, but when it wasn't maxed out yet, it was still missing a few parts. It was very hard, alright? Now, it was easy to beat the 10.8 time. By the time you get to the last race, you can fit all your stage 6 parts, retune it back to normal, and run that last race and beat the boss, no problem. That was easy. It was really just the 0 to 100 races that were extremely hard for tier 3 and tier 4 and tier 5. Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 didn't have those 0 to 60 races, at least that I can remember. If it did, they weren't hard. But when you got to Tier 4 and Tier 5, it was hard. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Tempest 3. I haven't finished this yet. I'm still waiting on one car, one stage 6 part for my F12 to make it fast enough to win. I need to run I think it's a 9.1 something to get my Elite 3 license. So I'm still waiting on that. And I'm going to use the Lamborghini Hurricane to do the last set of Tempest races for Tier 5. But anyways, on Tier 1, you're gonna have Sneak's Focus Trackster. This is probably the fastest Tier 1 car in the game. I mean, this is ridiculous how fast this car is for Tier 1. But you have to run a 12.009 to beat this car. And here's the messed up part. Alright? They give you, once you get into this, they're gonna give you a Tier 1 Mazda Miata for free. And you have to max that Miata out pretty much to beat this car. So that's just one more car you have to get parts for, and at least a tier 1 car doesn't need stage 6 parts. But you're gonna pretty much have to max it out on fusions, and I guess it's even maxed out. My understanding is it's really hard to beat this time. So unfortunately, that they're trying to make you lose is what it seems like almost. But anyways, you gotta beat a 12.009 with the Mazda Miata they give you once you unlock the Tempest 3 races. Now when it comes to Tier 2, you got Summer C4, you have to beat a 10.104. I haven't done these races yet, so I don't know if the Tier 1 and Tier 2s have the speed traps and top speed races or not. But when it comes to Tier 2, you can use any car you want. I'm going to use my Porsche Boxster with no stage 6 parts on it, and it's not even maxed out on fusions. It'll easily beat this time. Next you have PETA's Camaro thing here. You have to beat a 9.150 with a tier 3 car. Again, I plan on using Amelia's LB-M4 to beat this. It's easily fast enough to beat this now, not being maxed out. So that is a awesome car to have. Then when we come to tier 4, this is the one that everybody says you almost have to change cars several times to beat these races, except for if you have a maxed out Mustang HPE 750 or a maxed out Sylvia S15 Rocket Bunny. I guess those are the only two cars in the entire game that can beat Tempest 3 Tier 4 without having to change cars. Alright, the problem is you got to be able to get to 0 to 60 really fast, and you have to have a really high top speed. Most cars don't do both of those well at all. Most of them do either have a really high top speed and a crappy 0 to 100 times, or they go to 0 to 100 really fast with a really low top speed. Tempest 5. You have to beat a 9.076 to get John Harkin's Lamborghini here. And I plan on using the Lamborghini Hurricane because it will run a 8.2 or something completely maxed out. The Ferrari F12 will only do like a 8.9 or something like that. So everybody says the Hurricane is the better choice to use. So I'm going to elite the F12 and use the Hurricane to beat this. So I think that pretty much covers the Tempest races here. Alright, we'll take a look at all the cars again really quick. Alright, so Angel Civic 1.5 VTEC. This is a really nice car. You know, if you're not very far into the races and you haven't seen a lot of these cars yet, or you've been wondering how you get these, you have to unlock the Tempest races and beat the bosses before these things become even... You can't even see these things in the game until you beat the bosses. But like right now, if I go to... I'll show you one more thing in the game itself. If I go into the dealership where it says buy cars, and I click on the little thing that says Tempest, alright, down here you'll see Tempest. It shows you all of the Tempest cars. And once you beat one of these bosses and win his car, another version of that car becomes available to win in rare imports, which is this Honda Civic 1.5 VTEC. Alright, exact same car, except for this one is actually slightly faster than the boss car. It doesn't have purple stars, it's only got 2 regular stars instead of 2 purple stars. And you can't buy this, you can only win it. You can't even win this until you've beaten the boss and got Angel Civic 1.5 VTEC. Alright? Um, Same thing here. We got the Nismo GTR. This is just a different version of it. Non-boss version, it doesn't have the purple stars, and these come in different colors. I don't know if this one's faster or slower than the boss version. Same thing with this Range Rover. I don't know if this one's faster or slower, but it's got regular stars in the purple. The GTA Spano. Alright, this is the non-boss version that becomes available to win with keys. You got another Exige 360 Cup. Alright, you can win that once you beat the boss, the Camaro ZL1. Now, if you lose to a boss, I'm not sure if these cars become available in rare imports or not, because you only have one chance to race the boss and win. If you lose, you do not get the boss's car. So like I said, I don't know if these become available to win or not after you race a boss and lose. But if you race the boss and win, these definitely become available. Here's the non-boss version of the 911 GT3 RS. Here's the non-boss version of the Golf GTI. I kind of think this one's also faster than the boss car. Here's the Tier 3 Sylvia S15 non-boss version. It'd be nice when you won cars if you could change them and pick the color you wanted, but you're stuck with whatever they give you on these when you win cars, which is okay, I guess. But every once in a while, I get a car and I'm just like, man, I hate the color, but it is what it is. And I didn't mean to go out of there. Let's try and get back to where we were. Alright. Hit the wrong button. Golf GTI. Okay. And since I haven't beat this yet, it's still showing me the boss car, Sneaks Focus Trackster. Once I beat the boss and win this car, it's going to show a different version of this car in here. But not until I beat it and win. Same thing with this, PETA's Camaro. Once I beat this, this will no longer show up in here. It'll show a different car. Same thing with this. Same thing with this. And I think that pretty much covers the Tempest races. Alright, this shows you the times, kind of let you know what to expect when you get into the Tempest races. And don't rush the Tempest races, okay? I've been playing for close to a year and I'm still waiting on one car. I showed you the race I can't beat in the last one. Alright, I'm still trying to beat the Elite 3 license. Let's go look at that again really fast. I'll go ahead out to race and show you the time trial that I have to beat. Alright, so I have to run a 9.160 with a tier 5 car. Like I said, I'm trying to elite this. This one's my Hurricane's already fast enough, but they say he's a better choice for racing the actual final set of Tempest races. As of right now, there's only 3 sets of Tempest races. I don't know if they're going to add more or not. They just added the Legends thing, so I guess they decided to do that instead of make another set of Tempest races. Personally, I don't really know anything about the Legends races. I beat the first set of Legends races, restored that Ferrari 250 GTO, and then it disappeared completely from my garage, so I completely lost that car. I contacted support, they gave me another one, but they gave me a bunch of gold and said, okay, buy the parts you need to restore it, and they only gave me enough gold to halfway restore the car, so I'm stuck. It's probably going to be a month or two before I'm able to restore that car, unfortunately, so I can't proceed with any of the Tempest races until I restore that car. I meant to say Legends races, not Tempest races. I can't proceed with the Legends races until I restore GTO. Now I asked them why they didn't just give me the tokens to restore the car instead of giving me not enough gold to restore it. And they said, "Oh, we don't have the capability to give out tokens yet." So I said, "Okay, whatever." But as you can see, I ran a 9.406. I need to run a 9.160 to beat that time trial. That'll complete my Elite 3 license, and then I'll be able to start the third set of Tempest races. But yeah, it's rather unfortunate because I mean the only thing I can do to restore that Legends car, I'm pretty much done with the Tempest video now, and I'm just rambling and babbling on right now. So if you don't want to listen to my babbling, go ahead and turn this off. If you like my videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll probably make a quick video on the Tempest races here pretty soon, and I'll probably show you all this junk in there as well. So, but anyways, when it comes to the Tempest races over here, there's the Legends trials, alright? So basically, the only thing I can do is race these every day to get more tokens. So that's probably about 1,000 tokens I can get a day. And I mean, when you're looking at like 2,600 tokens to upgrade a car, just one part, I think they get more expensive than that. I'm not even sure, but it's probably going to take me a while. Like yesterday it required you to have like 3 stage 6 parts on a Legends car, which I don't have. I don't have a Legends car with any stage 6 parts because I couldn't even race that. It's like some of these races I can't even do to try and restore my car. I mean, support should have given me like everything I needed to restore it, honestly, but they didn't. I mean, it was cool that they gave me what they gave me, but I'm out a whole lot of tokens here because the car just disappeared out of the blue from nowhere, just gone. You know, I didn't mess with the Tempest races for a couple weeks. They started. I didn't really do nothing with it. 2 weeks later or whatever, I came back to try and do some Tempest races, and bam, gone. It's like, where's my car? It's disappeared completely. All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. That pretty much covers all the Tempest stuff. I'm really babbling on, man. It's early in the morning. I'm tired. I don't know what's going on. So, alright. Talk to you guys later.